Good afternoon, everyone. The time is now 4:43 on March 17th. We are going to begin the Education and Economic Development Committee meeting for today. At the beginning of this, I'd like to first ask for a roll call, please.
Sergio.
Here.
Lujan.
Present.
O'Donnell.
Here.
Skevich.
Here.
Sassy.
Here.
Sierra.
Here.
Seeginga.
Here.
Here. Thank you very much. No, I forget it. I could ask everyone to please stand. Pledge allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. And happy St. Patrick's Day to everyone. We all know he was Italian, right? Let's see here. First up on the agenda, Dr. Christine Young, President, Orange County Community College, and Paul Martland, Vice President of Administration and Finance, Orange County Community College, with a request, approval, and execution of the proposed contract with the Faculty Association of Orange County Community College, legislative request 072.
Some second.
Lujan and Stenanga. Okay. The floor is yours, gentlemen. Please come up.
Return. Now, unless I misread the situation, I believe everybody on this committee is here for the last meeting.
You don't have to say anything.
Yeah.
Say anything.
Well, I take after you. I can't go saying anything.
We could just say the contract's been resolved.
Man, I'm gonna have to change my vote.
Say, be careful.
He's worried about the corned beef and cabbage running out.
So the only thing I neglected to say in the first presentation I will add here, when this was approved by the Faculty Association membership, the vote was 85 in favor, 1 against, and 1 abstention. So the difference between that kind of result and where we were is huge. And again, that goes to the leadership
Oh, he
of
voted.
these guys.
Excellent.
He abstained.
Any questions or comments?
You know me so well.
All right, hearing none, seeing none, motion to approve, or excuse me, all in favor? Aye. Against? Passed unanimous. Thank you.
Thank you.
Very much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Good night.
All righty, next up, we have Nicole Anderson, Director of Community Development. Item A is a request to adjust the 2025 CDBG and home budget, recording Orange County's actual 2024 entitlement allocation received. The total funding decrease is $278,311.71. That's a CDBG decrease of $67,859.00. A home decrease of $210,452.71. This is legislative request 69.
So moved. Second.
Lujan and Stenanga. Floor is yours, ladies.
Okay, so basically what these first 3 items are just actualizing the funds that we actually received over the last year or so.
Yeah, so we just over budgeted. So we expected to receive about 2.9 million. And we received 2.7 million. So the difference is 278,000. So we're just decreasing our budget by that.
And this is something we do every year, just to reconcile books.
Yeah.
Any other, have any questions or comments? No. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Unanimous. Thank you very much. All right, B, request to adjust the community development program income budget, decreasing the 2025 budget for the actual 2024 program income received for CDBG and home. The total funding decreases $91,637.94 at CDBG, PI increase of $15,266.56. Home PI decrease of $106,904.50. Legislative request 70. So
Second.
Sassy and Stenanga. Floor is yours.
So this is just very similar. We received less than we thought we were gonna get. So, when you combine CDBG and home, so we're just decreasing the 2025 budget by the 91,000.
Thank you. Any questions or comments? Hearing none, all is in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Unanimous. Item C, request to adjust community development program budget, program income budget, increasing the 2025 budget in the amount of $40,420.76 for the actual program income received for 2023 home. This is legislative request number 74.
So moved.
Sassy and Sinanga. Floor is yours.
This one we actually undercalled. So we're adding 40,000 back into our budget for 2025.
Questions or comments? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Unanimous. D, request to authorize the county executive in conjunction with the Office of Community Development to submit an application to the State of New York Empire State Development for the County Infrastructure Grant Program, NYS ESD CIGP, for an award of up to $1 million and to enter into and execute a contract with the state if awarded. Grant funds will be used for infrastructure project implementation by the city of Port Jervis, which will support the creation of at least 10 units of housing, contribute to placemaking, and encourage visitation and tourism. Local match of $1 million, 50%, is required along with $250 application fee and 1% commitment fee, and all will come from the city of Port Jervis that will be the sub-recipient. Let me say that again, sub-recipient. Legislative request 75.
I make that motion.
Sassy and Lujan and ex officio, they're, yes,
I'd like to.
Fagion. Okay, go ahead. Tell us about this.
So this is a new grant that New York State opened up called the County Infrastructure Grant Program, and all counties in New York State can apply for it. And the county will basically act as a pass-through in this instance. So the full $1 million that the county receives. So we'll enter into an agreement with New York State. We will then enter into an agreement with the city of Port Jervis for them to do this infrastructure project, which is a water filtration upgrades of their water filtration plant that they currently own. This project was sort of a needle in a haystack in terms of meeting all of the state's criteria in the time that we needed to meet it. There was only one other application that was just really too big for this funding at this point in time, especially being the first time that we're receiving this funding, the first time the state's doing it. So just to give you an example, they don't have a draft contract yet of the contract that we'll enter into with New York State. So that doesn't really give us a good idea of how this program's going to run. But basically, this project will happen over the course of the next couple of years. These upgrades of the water infiltration plant. And like it says here, the city of Port Jervis will be bringing the match of $1 million. So the grants for $1 million, you have to match $1 million. They're going to bring the $1 million, plus they're going to pay the $250 application fee and the 1% commitment fee to New York State directly. And that's about it.
Thank you, and thank you for the explanation today. Anyone have any questions or comments regarding this? Okay,
Mr. Chairman.
yes,
The director had pointed out in this request, it does, it actually doesn't state that we are authorizing the executive branch to accept and appropriate those funds if they are awarded after the submission of the application. So if the committee chooses to make a motion to amend that, to add that language in there, that would probably be appropriate.
so just to clarify, this allows it to move through, but then the county executive has the option or the ability?
The ability, so
Okay.
the request itself would be authorizing the county executive to submit the application. In the event that the application is approved and grant funds are provided, it would allow the executive branch to accept and appropriate those funds, and then use it towards the purpose that Ms. Anderson had mentioned.
And where would those funds come from?
The
State.
The matching portion?
No,
the matching portion well, that would be a question for Ms. Anderson.
Basically, what I'm asking is, rather than me coming back again to the legislature to accept and appropriate the funds, to just do one resolution.
I've
to
got
apply
that. My
for it.
question is, where's the other million coming from if it's a matching grant?
Oh, for Jervis.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay,
Motion for the amendment.
okay. Excellent. We have Lujan and Sinanga. All right, so motion's on the floor for the amendment. You want to read it? You want to?
Well, that was the amendment, so if
We're
you
good to
want
go.
to vote on it.
Take a vote. All in favor? Opposed? Passes. Thank you. All righty.
Now you have to do the whole thing. So call for another vote for the.
I'm getting there.
Sorry.
Next week.
Okay, so now let's vote on the actual item. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Excellent. Motion passes this
We're just trying to get you
item
your
D.
St. Patrick's Day.
Thank you. All right. Last we have part D2 is the request of supplemental appropriation of county taxation up to $150,000 for staff costs related to administering the New York State ESD CIGP grant. Legislative request 75.
So moved.
So moved.
Lujan and Sinanga again. Would
Yep.
you like to care to explain this one, please?
Sure. So as you all know, we have no taxation in our department, so we can't use our other funding to administer this grant. So we need some funding to administer this grant. We don't know how much money we're going to need until we actually do until we do it. So we'll have a much better idea for next time of how much it costs, but this will be the first time that we're entering into this contract with New York State, and going through that entire contract process, and then also developing a subrecipient agreement with the city of Port Jervis, entering into that contract, inspecting the project, processing vouchers for the project, closing out the project, replying to audits for the project, monitoring the project. So we expect this to be completed within 2 years. We don't know if it's going to go to 3 years. For all we know, it could maybe be done in 1 year, which would be great. So we've come up with 15% of the total grant of $1 million. That's where we came up with 150,000. Right now, CDBG is 20% admin, Homes 10% admin. I think this is somewhat of a simpler grant than CDBG, so this is how we've come up with the 15%, but essentially this is funding that we will only use if it's needed, because it's only in all of our timesheets, we track all of our hours to whatever specific project we're working on. So we'll track all of our hours to this specific project and draw down accordingly for those hours spent on this project.
Thank you. Questions,
I
comments?
just have a technical question. The last one we just voted on was legislative request 75, and this is also legislative request 75, that's correct?
Yes.
Okay, I just
Two-part.
wanted to make sure, because,
Yes.
all right, usually they're separate when we have separate things we're voting on, so. Okay. All right, thank you. I have no
Okay.
questions otherwise.
Any other questions? Seeing, legislative.
So this is all just projected and hopeful. That's all. I just wanted everybody to
It is,
realize this is
but-
just hopeful.
But honestly, I think if you apply for this grant in your county, you get it.
Okay.
Because
That's
they
good,
have
but still,
they have 50 million set aside, and there's like 58 counties. So
62.
62,
62.
okay. I think we're gonna get it.
Good.
And
Okay,
and if
that's all.
they do, we're on the hook for 1.15 million.
We're on the
Now
hook for
we're
nothing.
Port Jervis.
Right.
Port services.
Who's doing 150,000?
We are
Aha,
with county taxation. That's
so we're on the
the
hook for
purpose
150.
of this.
150.
Okay, so
Up to.
thank you.
Up to.
Clarification, up to, thank you.
Okay, now I do.
All right, Go ahead.
Sorry, I know we want to get there. So that administration fee would not come out of the actual grant, it would be on the taxpayers?
No,
to do
that,
this?
that took a number of months to get that information, but yeah, there's no administration in the grant.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Yep,
All right,
good.
good. Everybody's good? All right, I'll call it. All in favor? Opposed? Passes unanimously. Thank you so very much.
Thank you.
Have a wonderful evening. Okay, we have Amanda Dana, Tourism Director, with a quarterly update. Welcome to the table.
Hello.
Hello. What's cooking in Orange County? Tourism.
We'll keep it brief. We'll just talk through this. Your reports came out to you. You have a couple pieces of information at the table. I'll let you, do you have to do anything for West?
No, we don't do anything because it's an update.
Yeah,
Okay,
just an
thank
update.
you. So, first and foremost, we did send the report in a different format. So it's a little more activity on it. Is everyone okay with this format? Or do you like the other one better? And just want to get your feedback on it because it was a lot of information, different graphs and different things. And if you'd like, we can still continue in this theme, but it's just totally up to you.
Okay.
You could get back to me anytime you'd like, so. But okay, so I'm here at Rachel Carr. She's also going to talk about some marketing techniques, trends, and things we're doing. So I'll kick us off. So we feel it's important to talk about how we're doing, and when we get our tourism impact study, it's always a little bit lagged. So these are the stats from 2023. The 2024 numbers will come out somewhere in the August-September timeframe. But it's important to see, based on here, that our bed tax collection has been steadily growing. And our visitor spending in Orange County is $1.2 billion. We did grow from 2022 to 2023 by 7.6%. And just so you know, the lion's share in Orange County of visitor spending is retail. I bet you can guess why that is. That would be our big engine in the South, Woodbury Common, and followed closely by food and beverage. Those are the two top sectors for visitor spending. And visitors, 4.1 million visitors in 2024 has been calculated, and that's a great number. Some people always ask how many visitors are coming, but that's a good stable number to look at. And that has been increasing over the years, but if anyone asked you, how many visitors do you get? It's about 4.1 million visitors a year. And I always like to add that 11.7 thousand jobs are created through hospitality and tourism, and that's a really healthy number to have, and when you're looking at your tourism economy. So this is just a look back to see where we are with our bed tax collection. And as you can see, except for 2020, which we know what happened then, we are on a steady incline for bed tax collection. I am going to talk briefly about bed tax, occupancy tax collection relative short-term rentals, but that'll be later in the presentation. Just to fill you in, when I talk, and I've spoken a lot around the county and around the state and the county about the economic engine of tourism, it's really another lane of tourism, another lane of the economic development sector. And tourism is not just about heads and beds, it's about so many other smaller businesses getting visitor dollars as well. And the competition is absolutely fierce. When you think about all of the media out there on going to different places and spending time, and more importantly, spending visitor dollars places, we really need to be on our game and really need to know that if we need to keep promoting. People will not just come, we have to promote. And the changing traveler behavior is really important to look at. Over the last 10 years, social media has really been a big influence on where people go. 77% of people will be going on social media when they're deciding where to go first. And we need to really be involved. We are, and we're very happy about that. But I just want to make sure you know that we are keeping in touch with changing trends for visitors. Well, here I'm gonna introduce, well, I'm not gonna introduce Rachel, everyone knows Rachel Carr, but she's gonna talk in the next couple of slides about our marketing dollars.
Yes, so this slide, really, we just want to show you guys that we have a well diverse marketing mix here. A majority of, or the largest piece of the pie is our digital advertising, which is made up of a few different parts, but something that's really big is advertising on Google. And there are two different ways you can advertise: Google Display and Google AdWords. We do both, but the display is when it's on the side, when you see the little image on the side of your searches. And then and then we also do Google AdWords, which is when a keyword is typed in and then our search result will come up to the top. So digital is really important. Google is the largest search engine out there. TV, we will be doing a spring commercial and we'll be using our outdoor commercial that we had, but just making a few modifications for the time of year. Streaming is successful for us. We started that in 23 and we're switching the provider that we're using this year, and we expect to be able to better target who our ads are shown to. Social media we'll get into a little bit further. And travel shows, we just went to New York City as well as Philadelphia, and next week we go to Washington, DC. Data and research is important for us to just keep track of things to make sure that how we're marketing, we're following the trends. And then just at the bottom, new for this year, podcasts, which has been done before, but we're going to be working with iHeartMedia and doing a podcast campaign, doing a few different commercials. So we're excited to enter that space. And activations, we're just going to be working with the ferry system in New York City, and we're going to build up some authentic excitement around what we're doing. So just to talk really quickly, some of the results that we've seen, our website traffic has been increasing year over year and month over month. So each year we're seeing more website visits, especially during our slower periods of the year. Social media engagement, last year, our focus for us was to build our social media audience. And so within the course of a year, we were able to almost double it. We grew it by 98.5%. This year, our focus is going to be building engagement with that audience. Our streaming videos last year, we did a campaign that got us 3.4 million views in our target demographic. So we're really happy with that number. That is a lot of impressions. And with the different partnerships that we had on social media last year, we had over 1.1 million media impressions. So one of the biggest things is just awareness, brand awareness. And so we're just making sure to keep Orange County front and center.
And the one thing I will mention, we did mention it last year, but we did receive 2 marketing awards last year through the state of New York, nice idea. And that was us up there with the head of I Love New York and getting those awards. So we're pretty proud of that.
Okay, so just to look at this really quickly, this is just if you go into our Instagram, for us, we're able to look at the back end, see the insights. So within the past 30 days, and we did pull this up last week, we have over 400,000 views. So that means that the different types of posts that we have, whether it's a post, static picture, reels, stories, we are which amongst all of those, we're having over 400,000 views on them. You can also see that 17.6% are followers and 82.4% are non-followers. So we are working with using ads. So we're doing a combination of social media advertising as well as putting out organic content. And so those ads are helping us bring in more non-followers to seeing our content.
So when we develop our marketing strategy, we don't do this alone. We realize that we need to tie ourselves to proven entities and players that can really increase our reach. And this is an example of some of the collaborations we did over the last 12 months. You might look up there and say, wait a second, I see Ulster County and Sullivan County up there. Well, visitors do not know borders for counties. And it's often to our benefit to collaborate in the Hudson Valley, collaborate with a FAM tour with Sullivan County and Ulster County, and we've gotten great results from that. We also partnered with Woodbury Common. If you've been down there, you might see our wall there, which really brings our small businesses to the wall and advertises for them and in the market hall. And you say market hall, why the market hall? Well, in Woodbury Common of 11, 12,000 people coming there, the place where people are most receptive to getting advertisements is in the market hall because they're not feverishly shopping, run around there. They are actually looking for those things to read.
That's where they want their discount.
And they are constantly looking for the discount book, but we happen to advertise on that wall and it does very well for us. So if you look at some of the examples of our partnerships, Play Airline, and you can see that 237,000 views on our collaborations with them. Breeze Airline. We also did a great little engagement last year to show Orange County's inclusivity. That was Huddy Buddy. That was an amazing campaign, over 600,000 views to that post, and lots of posts actually. There was reels and posts and quite the initiative. And that was a really good success story for us. And I like to bring it down to the local level a little bit too. The Last Whiskey Bar, has anyone been there in Warwick? You have, you're not admitting it here, but you have been there, but it's a great place, little place. We did some engagements with them and we really picked up on a lot of the New York City traffic coming up to Warwick. And that got a tremendous amount of views, 329,000 to be exact. So this just shows you that we are working with local businesses as well, not just the big players, we're working with smaller businesses as well. Oh, I saw that. It was really cute, that plane going by. That was really pretty. I know that was Lisa back there. She did that. I also, speaking of local businesses, I want to just talk about local business testimonials on Guilty Pleasures Cheesecake in Washingtonville. If you've ever been there, that place is amazing. We did a reel with them and they saw an uptick and they gave us a nice shout out as a testimonial. And also, I just mentioned the Last Whiskey Bar. We did some work with them and they really showed some improvements and more visits. And it's great to see those local testimonials coming to us.
It's nice to see you can do that for local business.
Yeah. And that's all part of our 4-season campaign as well, going into those smaller villages, cities, towns, and bringing business there. So when we, I'm sorry?
Last Whiskey Bar, was that?
In Warwick, at the prison, the Mid-Arch Correctional Facility, just outside the gates. You don't have barbed wire in front of that one, so. Yeah.
Good to know.
So a lot of our initiatives, all of our initiatives align with government priorities. As we talked about, we have the 4-season campaign, the year-round tourism strategy. We focus on sustainability and community revitalization. We are working on accessibility with all of our properties, trying to push out, right now, it's called Wheel the World. Thank you, Rachel. Wheel the World is one of the platforms we're strongly considering partnering with so that we can get our properties on an equal front so that we can attract all visitors. And historical and cultural preservation, some of the things that come to mind on that one, not only pushing towards our museums, but also the Revolutionary War 250, Rev 250. We're going to be working in that space quite a bit coming forward.
Can I do a pause for a second?
Yes.
The accessibility portion of that with the website, is that website accessibility or is that promoting places that have accessible locations?
Yeah.
That person with disability can go to?
Good question. That's a full engagement. That is an engagement where we will be going to the properties to make sure that they're accessible, helping them if they're not, and educational series. And also the second part is a platform where people can book their overnights and knowing that these properties are accessible, that they can go directly to them.
And these are not county properties necessarily, but anybody's property.
Private properties largely, hotels, attractions,
Okay.
museums.
Thank you. Thank you.
And what else does the tourism department do? So we also do a tremendous amount of strengthening community and stakeholder engagement. We do regular updates and reports. As you know, here, we do our quarterly reports. We provide data to our stakeholders. We're on radio activations, and we're also introducing new blogs right now. We do partner with economic development groups, and we're involved with any project that comes in that has to do with tourism or hospitality, working on some big ones now. And we work closely with other business associations in the Chamber of Commerce. Some of the community feedback and business support that we provide, we talked a little bit about education. We collect data, we provide it, we promote events in local communities. We work with the municipal tourism grants. And we also work with other county departments to make sure that they have the assets they need to promote as well. One thing I want to talk about, forgot about this guy, the new short-term rental regulations with the state. You're going to be hearing more about this through our Commissioner of Finance as well. Most of you know what this is, I think. If not, really, Reader's Digest version is that real. Yes. So this would be eventually another revenue source for the county. This will be collecting occupancy tax, bed tax on short-term rental providers, not just Airbnb, not just VRBO, but any platform that's basically on the internet that's advertising short-term rentals. The hosts are required to register with the county. The county will be managing this registry and will also be collecting from all of these providers. So it is an additional revenue source for the county, but more importantly, it's transparency and it's safety. So,
So that could be anybody's home.
Oh, no, good.
well,
Yes
there's
or no?
regulations behind us now.
Let's let her down.
Thank you. So how much of that do we then have to kick up to the state?
How much do we kick to the state? So like
They're
our,
making us collect the tax.
right. So yeah, so to answer your question, right now with our hotel motels, we take that all in-house. We don't kick it.
Exactly.
But right now, we have a cost associated with running this program. But the big push was probably that they just wanted these vendors to be transparent and exercise safety, because right now, the lion's share is hotel motels paying these occupancy taxes to the counties and towns. So some towns collect as well. And so this is a way to really put more regulation behind this model. It's us.
Keeping all the money?
We are. Now I will look to Carrie for that one, but I believe it's all
We're
in-house.
still continuing to get updates on this. We're working, there's a committee that's working on this to ensure, but at this point, we believe that we will keep the money. But again, like Amanda stated, there's, additional personnel might be needed to monitor this, registry. Just saying, okay? Just saying.
Mhm.
Thank
That was
you.
in the details.
Thank you.
Just,
Let's listen.
because I did do a lot of this, last month. I believe right now, the Airbnb, with the agreement that we have is they pay separate to the state and then separate to us what was negotiated. The biggest push on this is that we now have probably more than 50% that are not even on these platforms. So they're all going unregistered and uncollected, and they're trying to bring them all up into compliance because of safety issues, health issues. They want them to be considered like a regular B&B or a hotel, which is why they're looking to create this so that everybody will have to register and be on this list.
Well,
And it
sales
will-
tax and occupancy
And
tax.
well, this, right, so the two of them will then come
Yeah, sales
into
tax
play
is-
with helping the county.
Please continue.
So we did mention out and about. So these are some examples of some of the presentations I've been giving and my team's been giving.
Very well done, by the way.
Thank you.
In Albany.
It was a great experience. So Philly Flower Show, we were just there last weekend. The team was there. Just some things around the state. We presented at the Chamber of Commerce. And we also gave we're offering educational sessions for people of the chamber. And that was just the New York State Tourism Association. I gave a presentation there.
Okay, so last week or 2 weeks ago now, we had our first session with Alon. They are a company that we're working with to offer education classes or sessions to our local tourism partners. It's open to any restaurants, lodging options, attractions, and we're educating them on working in the international travel market as well as working with domestic group travel. This will help businesses to manage their slower season. They can plan for it because international travelers will book in advance, and they'll also stay longer and spend more money. So this will allow us to put packages together and then ultimately put them in front of international tour operators so that we can bring in more travelers and a type that is easy for the businesses to work with. So this Friday is our second session. The first session, we had, I believe, 48 participants, and now we're going to be working to make phone calls to make sure that we have just as many for the second session and moving forward.
And there's 3 sessions.
Nice visuals, right?
You can. She's. Yeah. Okay, so we're super excited. You might have already had the article, National Geographic UK, National Geographic Traveler, it's called. Last fall, we had a request from I Love New York. They're working with a travel writer from National Geographic. They asked us questions about what is your favorite parts of your county? What are you known for? Focus on food. And we had to submit all these things to them. Then they came back to us and said, yes, we want to come. So it was kind of a 2-part process. And they came to Orange County in the fall. And we highlighted our Black Dirt region. Paul, I believe you came on tour. Yeah, thank you for that. Yeah, you came on tour with us. And we had this writer for National Geographic with us. We did tour Black Dirt region and we tasted food from a renowned chef Anthony. And then we brought them down into Warwick and they visited Warwick and they visited the chocolatier in Warwick as well. And they wrote a really nice article on their experiences. We shared this with Westchester, Rockland, us, and Greene County. So between the 4 of us, we put this together for this National Geographic piece. You have it in front of you, and it just came out this last week, and we're super excited about
We
that.
showed them up with the Black Dirt.
We did, that they probably spent the most time there. A lot of that article is about us, and I just have to say, we're really proud of that,
That's
so, yeah.
That place we had to?
Hmm?
With that-
Everything you see was made in Orange County and grown in Orange County.
Where's the restaurant?
They took that picture at Brown Barn. He did a display.
Nice.
Yeah, he did an open display
Looks
for.
really delicious, I'm starving.
Okay, Yeah, so the next 2
Corned
hours,
beef.
of my
This is it.
presentation might. No.
Giving me ideas of where I want to go eat.
Yeah, so, and one last thing, Hudson is coming soon. We're going to be launching him. The costume is ready. He is real. I'm just saying there is a costume, but he is real. And we'll be launching Hudson the Hound shortly. More to come on that. We're going to be doing some reels coming out. Where is Hudson campaign? Really building the hype on that, but it's going to be a great family fun initiative. All right, so I'm going to go into film right now. Well, you thought you were done, right?
No, we knew, film's always left.
So, okay, so I'm just going to talk briefly on production updates, release dates, news, and impact spotlights. Some of the films that have wrapped, series The Diplomat, some segments were here. Poker Face 2, remember Poker Face 1 was largely Orange County. Two episodes were here in Orange County for Poker Face 2. We did not get their soundstage because they stayed in Brooklyn because Latasha Leone lives right next door to the soundstage. So she's the big actress and that actor, and she wanted to stay in Brooklyn. That's the only reason. why they lost that. She wanted to walk to the stage, so that's why she was in Brooklyn. So we also filmed a commercial in Middletown at the Time Travel Record Building, actually. They still had all of their cubicles there from when they made newspapers. They still kind of do, but that space is where we filmed the commercial. Filming in progress now. There She Goes. It's going to be out soon. And next up, reimagined, the Middletown, soundstage, which is, Hope Stage, Nora, correct me if I'm wrong, Hope Stage, which has been certified, and it is a soundstage in Middletown. I think I talked about that last time I was here. They did get a client in there, so that client is going there. And we're working to land some real interesting stuff. And again, when we are trying to, it's such a competition when we're trying to get these films to stay with us, but this one looks really promising. It's a Ron Howard film with an Amazon streaming function to it. And it is Amazon film, right, Nora?
Yes.
Thanks. And Into the Sky UFO film, I figured Pine Bush would be perfect for that. We're working on 2 other series right now. They're really super secret, but it looks like we can recreate the New England ocean town scenes with some scenes in Montgomery, and first responder series. Also a docudrama that's looking very strongly at the jail. So we're hopefully going to be getting some more work at the jail.
I have a suggestion for the Into the Sky UFO up in Pine Bush,
Mhm.
and Sassy lives up there.
Yeah.
You could dress them up as Hudson the Hound, put him on a UFO and fly him in. It'd be
That's-
great.
I know what,
And when he lands, he can start milking the cows.
Yeah.
Doing that.
What if he comes
You know what? So he leaves early, he's now doing all this, so.
Oh, boy.
Success would be
You know, he's
good.
not even here to tell me this.
Well, that's what happens when you leave.
I like it.
Leave,
Oh,
that's
I'm
it.
writing that down. All right.
Carrying a golf club.
And just project release dates, The Accused, is a movie coming out, Poker Face 2, I just mentioned, there she goes in the fall, and Marty Supreme, A24, on Christmas Day, it is coming out. And Nora is so excited about that one, I can tell you.
June.
Can you see why she's excited now? Because she was stalking the set, so there that happens, and I just said it, so. Marty Supreme and more work on Big Island Road. Timothy Chalamet, you might recognize him from Dune. He was there, and they say he might be up for an Oscar for this movie. So stay tuned for Christmas this year. So one thing we did is we took a look at some of the places that got business over the last 12 months that we know that have been keeping in contact with us. And just so you know, when we get asked where to go, locations, we send out so many, and often we don't know if they landed unless we actually do some digging. In this case, they came back to us, these small businesses came back to us and said, yes, we got a lot of business. The Castle got a tremendous amount of business from Poker Face, Ice Time. Callahan and Nanini, it's a quarry in Salisbury Mills. They do a tremendous amount of filming there, and it's just a go-to for filming. They know how to do it, they got the drill, and they get a tremendous amount of filming there. We went to the Moorworth Airport, Atlas Security, Mount Peter, the movie Four Seasons, with Tina Fey and Steve Carell. They were there for a couple of days filming some ski scenes. And they were going up, was it Lake Placid, I believe? And they said, no, we can recreate this here. And we did, we kept them here. So we did create those scenes here. Here's Help Staffing. They were able to provide staffing services for one of our larger productions. I think it was MGM. Local firehouses, nonprofits. Weir's Ice Cream Stand is always a go-to. They know the drill as well. They know how to do this.
They close off 94, can't get through.
I'm sorry, I'm the only person that likes that,
It's all
but yes. And Pamela's on Hudson, they have their own division. They supply catering services to films quite regularly. So I just want to point those out.
That's some great third-party validation.
Thank you.
Wow.
That's very great.
So not only the private sector, but the county gets in on the game. So county parks are constantly being looked at for scenes. That Orange County Jail is actually very popular. There is a section of the jail that, whether you think this is good or bad, is vacant. So that is an easy go-to for these types of productions. The Perry Building is also one for a lot of medical scenes. The Historic Courthouse has been used, and the DMV in Newburgh is on the cover, or the cover photo of Pretty Little Liars, and that was quite the scene last year for that. Here's a fun fact: $8,000 in location fees was spent at the jail, and over $100,000 in compensation was paid out to security last year for additional security needed for productions.
Very cool.
And these are some of our popular social media reels and shares. Angry Orchard, Zac Efron was out there and he did some filming out there, and we did a recreation of that, except not with Zac Efron, unfortunately. And that's another one Nora was insisting on being at, but on the chance that he would be there. But 25.7 thousand views on that one. We have some other active reposts that I want to mention. Coleman Domingo, he was in Sing Sing, which was filmed at the prison in Warwick. He reposted one of our social media posts. And also Clarence Macklin, who is another actor that's in Sing Sing, who is fantastic. He also reposts and follows us as well. So people are seeing our social media and film, and they're liking it, and more to come in 2025.
Nora, stop letting her pick on you.
So the film office is also going to be doing some great things this year. We'll continue to work with film and collect content. We're going to be increasing our social media presence. We're going to enhance our website with our resources, pushing it out into small businesses. We're going to partner more with film partners, with production companies. And we're also going to represent ourselves hopefully this year at the American film market, which we're going to be showing our sound stages and our locations so that productions will come to us directly. So we're real excited about that.
Thank you.
And that's it.
Excellent. Everybody good? Good. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
So. Alrighty, and we have one more left here. Thank you for your patience.
Everyone was so popular yesterday, they took them all. We would have came by, so we had an open house yesterday, it was really fun.
How about that?
Mhm.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Alrighty, last but not least, of course, we have Lucy T. Joyce, the Executive Director of Cornell Cooperative Extension, for an update. Welcome. What do we have with you?
I have with me, top of the afternoon, we are representing three, representing.
All right.
Proper extension.
So Caitlin O'Brien,
Correction it for Jimmy.
Susie, yeah, but Caitlin's the only one wearing green. My green isn't appropriate for her. There's your three over there. But, so I just want to give you a super brief update, and then Caitlin will, go into a little more detail about the Relatives Parents Program. We're handing out our, what's happening. Real brief update on this. So our Education Center 4-H Park, we have a 70,000 gallon.
What's happening?
What?
That one. Send us the rest of them. Take
Sorry
one.
about that.
Sorry about that.
Oh, that was-
I'm talking the restricted. It was so nice.
So we've been, installed, is now working, unfortunately was working right before frost season, so we're anxious to pick it back in again, a 70,000 gallon rainwater collection system from the roof orders. This was an environmental facilities grant. It did go way over budget because the budget was developed in 2018 before COVID, and things increased like triple. But it's all completed, and we're quite excited about a backup water source.
That's a lot of water.
It's a lot of water, yeah. We have a new class of Master Gardener volunteers, trainees, so we're now 108 active Master Gardener volunteers who are all around the county. They do a really great job being spread out and sharing everything from invasive species and those more technical things to great craft and kinds of projects. Orange and Rockland Utilities has awarded us with a Climate Justice and Resilience Communities Grant. It's pretty exciting to have Orange and Rockland. This is their first time in this type of a grant, and they're really focusing on disadvantaged communities. We're focused within the region in Middletown and Port Jervis, where we're training people from the area, the target audience, and allowing them to participate to help develop plans for how they can mitigate with climate change, really concentrating on extreme heat and flooding, since those are two major issues that affect us and Orange and Rockland in general. And then hot off the press is Open Space Institute is looking to also collaborate in the Port Jervis region. So that's actually not quite on the press yet. So you're getting, I just got a contract today. So we'll be looking at that to sign it. So that's very exciting, and Orange and Rockland is thrilled that their investment now is also being piggybacked. So
Wonderful.
yeah, that's a real win-win. And we had 75 of our youth went to display at the country fair in Otisville. We've been talking to Amanda about having tourism help us with that. And tourism has this great program to tell us exactly how many people came to the fair last year, 15,000, and where they came from and where they went. So we're working with other county departments, in this case tourism, which is great. This is National Nutrition Month. Our SNAP education program is very busy this month, as they are busy all the time. It's a fantastic program. I will share with you, I am very concerned. That's federal dollars that go to the state Office of Temporary Disability Assistance. That's who we're subcontracted with. Very concerned about the funding for that. It looks good until the federal fiscal year. So we'll wait for the Farm Bill and to see how that's going to happen. But we have 3 grants, 2 SNAP Ed grants, one a disadvantaged farmer grant. That one's moving forward. Another one, we were close to getting a contract and it's frozen, and that was climate resilience and soil health, I think, because it has climate resilience in it, but it's really soil health for farmers, working closely with Soil and Conservation District. And that's not moving forward. But luckily we didn't spend any money on that yet because we didn't have a contract for that.
So we'll just develop it as soil health.
Excuse me?
Just develop it as soil health.
Well, yeah, if we could resubmit it or something. Yeah, I mean, really increasing no-till and things like that, but in any case. Now, I want to turn it over to Caitlin to give you a little more in-depth on Relatives as Parents program.
So I'm Caitlin O'Brien. I'm the program manager for the Relatives as Parents program, which is a kinship family support program for grandparents, aunts and uncles, siblings, or fictive kin who are close family friends who are raising kids in place of their biological parents for the variety of reasons that might come to be. Our program's been in existence for 26 years, supporting kinship families all over Orange County. We do that through direct services like our support groups, which happen monthly in Middletown and New Windsor, and our peer-led RAP chats, which are led by some of our peer mentors in Port Jervis and New Windsor. We serve roughly 300 families on any given year through a variety of services. And that can include folks coming to us one time for a connection to our family court attorney that we contract with to just get some legal guidance on navigating the family court system. Other folks will come to us long-term for some of those support groups. We also do 4-H youth programming with all of our families. So the kids, while the adults are talking and getting support with each other, the kids also form a connection with other kids being raised in families like theirs through youth engagement. We also do summer camp scholarships for our families. So we fundraise annually for that to make sure that we can support our families. The majority of our folks are grandparents who are on fixed incomes and are taking in kids usually pretty unexpectedly, right? So maybe they've been removed by DSS. And so we want to make sure that we make their lives as easy as possible. Those families are a huge cost saving to our government in terms of the cost that support kinship families versus traditional foster care. And so some of those figures are on that little card that I passed out to you, but we do have local numbers as well if you're interested on what that looks like. But we want to make sure that while they're saving us money, we're not costing them security and all of that kind of stuff. So those summer camp scholarships go a long way. We also have a great group of peer mentors who are kinship caregivers themselves, who've sort of navigated that system. Their kids are a little bit older, so they provide lived experience support to our caregivers who are newer and kind of navigating that court system or Department of Social Services, or really trying to make decisions about how they make ends meet. And so those people are unsung heroes. I could talk to you about them all night, but I know we're trying to get to corned beef, so I'll keep it as brief as possible. I too would love some of that this evening. So we do some really fun stuff too, so not everything is serious. We offer annual events. The Warwick Drive-In allows us to have our families for free every year for a movie in the summer. And all of the tickets to the general public are sold as 100% donation to the RAP program. So I want to shout them out. People don't appreciate the drive-in as much as they should. And we use that to fund our summer camp scholarship along with donations from other folks and just general fundraising that we do.
We also do an annual summer picnic and a Christmas party for our families. And those are opportunities for those kids and those caregivers to get together. Sometimes they haven't seen each other since the last party, but a lot of these kids have grown up in the RAP program together. And so there's a sense of camaraderie and community. A lot of being a kinship family can feel really isolating. You don't look like a lot of other families. There's usually some trauma associated with how that family came to be. So to have them be able to build those connections is really valuable and important. Anything else I should touch? Oh, one thing that's really exciting that's coming up is we have a really good relationship with our local DSS. We complement their services, so kind of like where their ability to meet families ends, we kind of pick up some of that. The good thing for our program is that the only requirement is that you're a kinship family, so you're the primary caregiver for relative children. So there's no paperwork or qualifications beyond that. But we're going to be planning a training for DSS staff and their contracted providers to talk a little bit about what it means to be a kinship family. During COVID, a lot of the staff that had been doing this work for a long time retired. And so there's sort of like that gap of information of what supports are available in the community and how to refer them over. So we'll be doing that together. And we're also working with our family court attorney who contracts with us to provide assistance to RAP families, to plan one for family court judges and local attorneys, to talk about like what some of those arrangements look like in terms of when a family enters that system. I also need to mention that we get great support from our local Office for the Aging and our Orange County Youth Bureau, along with all of those other funds that we raise. So.
Thank you. Just we are recording. So where would someone be able to get in touch with you?
So through Cornell Cooperative Extension, our phone number is the easiest one to remember in Orange County. It's 344-1234. And they could ask for myself, Caitlin O'Brien, or they could just ask for the RAP program and someone will connect them to me.
Thank you.
And then there's information, of course, on our website as well.
Wonderful.
I just want to mention, when we met with DSS staff regarding the decisions that a family has to make when all of a sudden they have children. You want to talk about that a little bit and the role we play? I thought was really interesting that the staff came to us for that.
Essentially, it's a family that is going through some major upheaval and you have very quick turnaround times to make big decisions that might have long-term impact, whether it be the finances that you bring in or the legal arrangement that you have for the child that you're taking in. And so it can be so overwhelming. And there's lots of brochures and booklets to help explain that. I think families walk away with a big stack of papers and a lot of stress. And so they actually did come to us. So our peer mentors were going to play a role in those early stages. So when they identified a family that could use extra support and the lived experience that Caitlin mentioned, that you just have another person to talk through and say, like, this could be an option or that could be an option and what would be better for your family.
Yeah, I didn't realize how serious those decisions were really early on in the process. People don't want government involvement in their family lives, but that might restrict support, financial support. And if they're living off Social Security, it's pretty rough to start raising kids that way. So it was really interesting for me to be part of that conversation.
I think it's important to note too that the vast majority of kinship families are sort of like outside of that system. So although we get a lot of referrals from family court judges and through DSS, a lot of folks are stepping in when they recognize that there's a problem in the family. So before maybe CPS involvement and a child gets removed, but they might recognize like my child's got a mental health issue or a substance abuse issue, and I'm gonna take over care of those kids. But what happens when they do it that way is that they're often not aware of the supports that are available for them, like our program or like some of the financial supports that DSS can provide. And so we try to do a lot of outreach to make sure we're connecting with not just the families involved in the system, but also those folks that are kind of falling outside of that, that system support.
Just a quick question on your program. If let's say grandparents, let's say parents pass, and the grandparents want to take care of the grandchildren, is this a type of program they should reach out to you for?
Yeah, for sure. So that is.
I happen to know somebody just happened over the weekend in New Windsor. So
You lost both parents.
That's terrible. I'm sorry. Yeah, we would be a support, and obviously we can help connect them if they aren't already connected to resources through DSS. That there's you know, financial supports that exist for kinship caregivers.
Thank you.
I think it's important to note that most people are either, this is all natural life experiences, right? And their family formations just happen and they don't identify themselves as, I'm a kinship family and there are other families like me. So we are like trying to help people learn a little bit more about like, there's other people in circumstances like you are, and there are supports and there is help and there's a lot out there.
Thank you. Thank you. Any questions? Comments? Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Always appreciate your time.
Without further ado, I will take a motion to adjourn. So moved. Skevich and Luhan, thank you all very much. Have a great holiday.